This is take 543. Who knows? I'll just keep going until I get all the clips that I want. La 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 la. Hi, I'm pStabs, short for Princess Stabity. I'm a content creator on Twitch, and lately I've been streaming mostly Destiny 2. I am what I call a low-skill Destiny 2 player. At the time of this recording, I have over 1,500 hours logged in the game, with 400 of those being in the Crucible. So this makes me an experienced potato. My gaming history is not long, nor is it extensive. I am, however, interested in learning and have been actively trying to get better. I'm going to put a link to my stats on Destiny Tracker in the description below so you guys can go take a look at exactly how bad I am. Another thing I'll get out of the way right now is I do play on PC with a controller because that's what I'm most comfortable with, but we'll talk about that another time, okay? Today I want to talk about skill-based matchmaking and share my experiences in the Crucible. I really liked pre-Season 11 skill-based matchmaking, and I am super butthurt that it has been removed from game types like Control. Butthurt, yes, I said butthurt. This is going to be a whiny video. Everybody else has got to whine, why can't I? Control has an objective outside of just simple killing, and it is a 6v6 infinite respawn game type. It's where I spent most of my PvP time. I also did Iron Banner and some competitive, but with competitive I kept getting suspended due to error codes. Pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. Dear Bungie, please fix that. To my knowledge, Bungie has never released their algorithm for skill-based matchmaking, but I'm going to describe it a little bit based on my experiences with it. So they'll take some kind of number, KD, ELO, something, and they divide up Guardians based on relative skill, right? So whatever that score is, and they put you in with a bunch of people that are basically the same as you, and that's what skill-based is. What I found in my experience is I would work my way up in the lobby till I would be about, you know, top 3 in the card. And then after a few matches of being top 3, I'd be put into a new bracket where I would be at the bottom for a long time. And from my experience, it took me about 20 hours worth of Crucible in order to change lobbies. So that's basically how it worked for me with my experience. So one of the things I have been doing more of lately is I've been kind of discussing skill-based matchmaking versus connection-based matchmaking with other people on the internet, so Twitter and YouTube mostly. I'd like to address the top 3 claims people who are against skill-based matchmaking are telling me. Number 1. Skill-based matchmaking doesn't help you learn. The biggest thing that people who are against skill-based matchmaking tell me, aside from just get good, is that playing with my peers doesn't help me learn. That the learning only comes from playing with people much better than me. I believe they're wrong. I believe they're really wrong. Let me show you my stats. So about once a month, I've been running the PvP command in my clan's Discord against the Charlemagne bot. So this then captures my overall KD for my career and also the hour plays, along with other data like your longest kill streak, best weapon. So I took those screenshots of the bot reaction and I compiled that data into Excel. Okay? And then I calculated the number of hours spent each month, and then I made a graph. So what you're looking at here is the visual representation of skill-based matchmaking for a player like me. I started gathering the data October 2019, which was shortly after the launch of Shadowkeep. At the time, I had 155 hours played in Crucible. My overall KD was 0.44. See? I told you I was a potato. Like, you can see it's bad. A month later, and 39 more hours spent in the Crucible, and I've improved my overall career KD by 0.04. So now I'm at 0.44. The next month, same time investment, and now my KD is a 0.5 overall. This trend continues until the end of May of 2020. The time invested playing has a direct correlation on the improvement in my overall KD. You can see the last 2 months, I put in 40 hours and improved by 0.04. Then June happened, Season of Arrivals, the end of skill-based matchmaking in almost all playlists. Despite 23 hours played, I decreased for the first time in 9 months. So what does this mean? It means that I, personally, saw continued improvement under skill-based matchmaking. I was rewarded for the time spent with overall performance gains and improvement which is visible on the graph. My PvP survivability improved, along with general map awareness and reaction times. I'm still a potato, but I'm not as bad as I was pre-Shadowkeep. And now I'm seeing a decline. Not a plateau, but an actual decline. It's not a coincidence that my first decline since Shadowkeep happened was at the same time skill-based matchmaking was removed from the majority of the playlists. 2. Just go play comp or elim. Those game modes aren't conducive to learning. You can't learn your multiplication tables by doing just one math problem. You have to do multiple math problems. So game modes that limit your lives slow down the learning to a crawl. As well, I take 4 times longer for quest progression because there's fewer targets and therefore fewer opportunities for progression. How do you play comp if you keep getting beavered and then suspended? Which I know a lot of people can relate to. Since Shadowkeep, players could have chosen to play Classic Mix if they wanted connection based. So telling me to go play a specific game type works as well as telling other people to go play a specific game type. You want to know what happened in Classic Mix though? Potatoes like me didn't want to be there. We didn't like being mashed. We didn't like being stomped to the ground. So we stayed away. Then the only players left in there were the players that played hard every single match. Play hard or get stomped. Big PvP creators complained. They even switched to different games. They couldn't make their 50 kill video montage things, so their content was gone. Bungie flip-flopped without looking for a compromise, and that makes me very disappointed in Bungie. Number 3, I shouldn't have to sweat every match, and I don't like being locked into this sweaty loadout. I didn't mind sweating every match. 90% of my matches went to time instead of score. Stomps rarely happened. I had to bring my A game each match or be okay with being in the lower portion of the card. And it was okay for me. I was playing with people like me who also sometimes had issues reading their radar while they were trying to jump and also aim. It was okay. In fact, I preferred it. I didn't play to win. I played to finish bounties, to try new builds, different weapons. Did I top frag occasionally? Yes, occasionally I got to feel what that feels like, to not be on the bottom. But I played to learn. I played to learn the maps, the respawn points, the sniper lanes, how to do things like corner slide, jump over supers. And as you can see from the graph, it's not happening anymore. What you're seeing behind me right now is an average game of mine in Crucible. This is me playing. This is what you're seeing. I'm getting killed now by more spare ration and mindbenders and gnawing hunger than I ever was before. But you know what happens now? Players like me, we learn how to 3-peek. You see us sword jumping. We use the frowned upon weapons like the puddle gun and Jotun, Revoker, Lord of Wolves. You know, the no skill broken guns that no skill players use to try to stay alive a fraction of a second longer. And now I can't play with new builds to find out if there's something more effective. So I spend so much of the match dead that if I don't play with Crimson and Beloved on my Hunter, that I can't get any kills. So now I'm locked into a specific loadout, which may or may not be any good. I'm gonna tell you, Gnawing Hunger beats out Crimson right now, but getting 8 kills and assists is better than getting none. And I think the thing that makes this even worse is that I'm getting teabagged by opponents and shot and punched by teammates and otherwise bad-mannered by players in simple, supposedly casual games of Control. I expect this behavior in comp, but not in Control. And this rarely happened in the skill-based lobbies. Not in mine, anyway. We didn't get that toxicity that comes from people who measure the size of their wieners by their KD. Just didn't happen in my lobbies. So overall, the experience for me is horrible. And yes, it feels game-breaking. I have a new outlook on the Destiny community as a whole and the PvP player base, and it's not a good one. So let's talk about the solution. How do we make it better? I think there's 2 things that could happen. First, we need a choice. I'd like a 6v6 infinite respawn mode for skill-based matchmaking. That's it. Just one. I don't need every mode, just one. Just that one. The very next thing I'd like to see happen is I'd like them to change the way the brackets are being calculated. I do see that the top tiered players do have to sit in queue for a very, very long time while they're trying to find matches of other players that are as good as them. So I think if you're above maybe a 1 KD, maybe a little bit higher, that bracket needs to be opened up much wider for a bigger player pool, right? Then people who are on the very top get to experience the thrill of sometimes stomping, and then the players that are, you know, above average still get the benefit of learning from the absolute top tier players, right? There's no benefit to me if you put me against Drewsky. No offense, Drewsky. I think you're great, by the way. Shout out to Drewsky. Right? But I'm not going to learn anything from him because I'm going to be dead the whole time. So that's how I would change skill based. So at the end of all of this, I'm just going to leave you guys with a summary of how I'm feeling. I don't enjoy connection-based matchmaking. I resent being the person that streamers mock for not pulling their weight on the fire team. That person with 2 KDs and 3 captures, that's me. That's an average match for me. I'm not learning under connection-based matchmaking, and I'm really mad about it. Game progression via bounties, XP quests has slowed down dramatically for me. I represent more of the general population in the Destiny 2 community than the big content creators will admit. Players like me don't matter to Bungie. We don't matter to the Destiny PvP community as a whole, but you guys need me. You need players like me. You need me as content fodder. And that's the part that's ironic. If we go, all that's going to be left are players like you, which you hate. Anyway, that's my take on skill-based matchmaking versus connection-based matchmaking. If you disagree with me or you agree with me and you just want to have a conversation about it, please feel free to leave a comment below. You can also come by my Twitch channel and talk to me live about it at twitch.tv/pStabs. I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But anyways, I probably won't see you guys in the Crucible. Might see you at Tower though. But thanks guys. Bye now. Res please.